Hey everyone, it's Nurse Sarah with registerednursern.com, and in this video, I want to give you 5 study hacks. Number 1, do not waste your time reading word for word every reading assignment that you are assigned to read. Now, before you go to class, a lot of professors, they're going to have what chapters you need to read, and sometimes there's literally like 5 to 10 chapters, and in nursing school, those books, those chapters are extremely long and the print is like literally this big. And you can't possibly read every single word for that particular class along with your other classes. So you've got to be really smart in how you do this. So instead of literally reading word for word those chapters, you want to skim those chapters and concentrate on bolded words, chapter summaries, and those key points that your professor is emphasizing in their PowerPoints or lectures. And ask yourself, what is this chapter about and what are those main sections I need to know in this chapter? Now, with that said, one important thing I do want to stress is that let's say that you're not understanding something, you need more explanation. By all means, definitely go back and read word for word that particular section. What I'm saying is that you don't have to read that chapter from front to back. The second hack is that you want to alter your study habits. So let's say you are reading. Well, you just don't want to spend the whole way of how you prep for that exam reading, because you're going to mentally get fatigued and you're just going to literally just find yourself staring at the words. You're not really digesting anything. So read for a while. When you find yourself getting burned out, go watch some YouTube lectures, digest what the person's saying. And then when you're done watching YouTube lectures, go and practice some quizzes. Go review your notes that you took in class. Look at your professor's PowerPoints. And then after you've alternated all those methods, go back and look at what the key points that were being repeated in all of those things. Like, what were the YouTube lectures talking about? Compare it to your notes, compare it to the quizzes. And if you keep seeing this redundant material over and over, those are things that you have to concentrate on, because that's what's going to be on your test probably. Next hack, number 3, you want to invest in some study guides. Now, you don't need study guides for every single subject, so you have a humongous stack of study guides. That is like crazy, but you want to focus on study guides in subjects that you know are difficult or something that you really just struggle with. There's lots of study guides on the market, so make sure that that study guide complements how you like to learn. Like, do you like mnemonics? Get ones with those. Ones that have quizzes. So not only do they have material in them, but they actually go and quiz you on that material to make sure that you're retaining it. For example, let's say you're studying fluid and electrolytes. And if you go ahead and start studying that subject, you're going to know it's a big subject and there's a lot of material you have to know. But how do you know which parts are important? Well, you want to get a good study guide. And I actually just released some digital notes that you can not only watch my lectures, but you can use these notes to help you study as well. And these notes have mnemonics with them, illustrations, quizzes, which will also give you the answers and rationales to those quizzes along with worksheets. Next is hack number 4. It is do not cram. I know it's really tempting to cram, especially if you haven't had time to study for the test. You're going to pull an all-nighter and cram that material in there. Think about cramming. It may work in the short term, like help you get through that single exam that you have, but in the long term, it's really going to come back to haunt you, because nursing content builds upon itself. So you've got to remember some key concepts that you learned in the beginning of the semester so it can carry you through the end of the semester, plus those proficiency exams that you have to pass, and then NCLEX in the end. So you want to make sure that whenever you do go to study for your exams, that you're giving yourself a lot of time to study. So if you are finding that you are flying by the seat of your pants to just get to that exam, you haven't had a lot of time to study, that you want to look back at your organization and make sure that you've scheduled in time or blocked out time to actually prepare for that test so you don't have to cram. And then the last hack, number 5, it sort of ties in with number 4, is to get organized. Organization is really one of the key points in succeeding in nursing school. So if you have no idea where to start, I recommend starting with a planner of some type. You can do a digital planner, or you can be old school like me and do a physical one where you have like a nice calendar in front of you. You can use pen, paper, markers, whatever, and mark everything that you need to do. And what I would do is that my professors, they would hand out their syllabus, at the beginning of the semester, and they would put dates and lists when all tests were going to be, when projects were going to be due. So I would bust out that planner that first week and I would write everything down on every single day. And this was extremely helpful because I was constantly looking at that calendar and saying, okay, 2 weeks, I have this exam coming up, I have this project here, oh, and I have clinical hours there. And you're gonna see once you have everything laid out that it's really helpful because some weeks you're gonna be bombarded with stuff. You're gonna have to go to clinicals, and then sometimes you're gonna have multiple tests in 1 week. So you've got to plan way ahead of time. If you didn't have your planner to tell you that, you may all of a sudden be caught that Saturday night saying, uh-oh, I'm in trouble next week because I got a lot of stuff to do. Okay, so that wraps up these nursing school hacks, and I hope they help you. And if you have any hacks that you would love to share, please share below because I know a lot of people like to read the comments and see what other people do. Okay, so thank you so much for watching.